Welcome back, my beautifully resilient souls. Let's not waste a moment on pleasantries. You didn't come here for sugar-coated lies. You came for the raw, unfiltered truth that cuts like a blade. Let's get into it. The human condition, what a paradox. They preach virtue, kindness, and the priceless nature of the soul. But beneath their polished smiles and hollow promises lies the cold, ruthless truth to them. Your worth is measured by the weight of your wallet. Think about it. How quickly do ears perk up when your bank account grows? How effortlessly doors once slammed shut are suddenly thrown open by greed's whisper. The same people who dismissed you, ridiculed you, or outright ignored your existence now chant your name, but only when you have something they want. That's the cruel game they play. Their god is gold, and you're nothing more than a pawn, or worse, a stepping stone to their desires. When you were at your lowest, struggling to breathe beneath the crushing weight of life, they saw through you as if you didn't exist. Your aspirations were a punchline, your grind an inconvenience, your presence irrelevant. To them, poverty wasn't a setback, it was a sin. And your punishment? Their disdain. But then something changed, didn't it? Maybe you fought like hell. Maybe you clawed your way out of the pit where they left you to rot. Maybe you turned their mockery into fuel and their doubt into your weapon. Suddenly you became visible. Suddenly you mattered. Isn't it ironic? The same people who once told you money can't buy happiness seem remarkably content when it buys their loyalty. Their hypocrisy is suffocating. They'll preach humility, but only after you've built an empire they swore you'd never create. They'll tell you wealth doesn't matter, all while their envious eyes linger on your success. To them, your worth never extended beyond what you could offer. But here's the catch, that realization isn't a weakness, it's your power. You don't need to dismantle their game, you just need to dominate it. Their insults and rejections were never your defeats, they were your lessons. Every time they underestimated you, you adapted. Every slight became a spark. Every dismissal became a reason to rise. And now, as you stand triumphant atop the mountain they said was too high, what do? They grovel. They pretend. They rewrite their narratives, claiming they believed in you all along. Lies. Empty, desperate lies. Don't fall for it. Their allegiance is transactional. Their friendships are hollow. They don't want you, they want what you can provide. That's where your true power lies. You've mastered their rules, flipped their system, and emerged as the force they never saw coming. You're not their victim, you're their reckoning. You've become the dealer in their rigged game. And remember, the house always wins. Now, let me make something crystal clear, you don't need their validation. Their opinions hold as much value as their counterfeit smiles. Instead, use their greed against them. Let them believe they've won, only to watch them unravel when they realize you hold all the cards. You've already won, not because of the wealth itself, but because you've stripped them of their power to define you. Here's the harsh, beautiful irony: in their obsession with measuring worth by riches, they exposed the void within their own souls. And now the decision is yours. Will you let them feast on the fruits of your labor, or leave them to starve in the shadows of your triumph? Understand this, your power doesn't just roar, it resonates. It shakes the ground beneath their feet. It rewrites the story they tried to write for you. They underestimated you because they couldn't comprehend you. To them, life is a ledger of favors and debts, of give and take. But you are the anomaly, the outlier, the storm they never prepared for. Now, as they stumble to paint themselves as your allies, they're trembling. Not because of your wealth, but because of what you symbolize. You've shattered their system, defied their shallow values, and proven their dominance is nothing more than a fragile illusion. So, what will you do with this power? Will you let them cling to your light, desperate parasites feeding off your glow? Or will you remind them of every slight, every rejection, every moment they treated you as less than human? Here's my advice: stay true to yourself. Don't let their greed corrupt your soul or their envy poison your spirit. Use their own game to crush them, but never become one of them. Because while they worship money, you've discovered its true purpose: freedom. It's not the wealth itself that matters. It's the power to shape your own destiny, to control your narrative, to rise beyond their comprehension. You've become more than they ever dreamed of. You're not just a success story, you're a force of nature. Let them tremble, let them choke on their lies. And most importantly, let them witness what real power looks like, power that doesn't just roar but leaves echoes they can't silence. Now go forth. Be the fire, the storm, the reckoning. And remember, they'll never measure up, not to your grit, your spirit, or your unstoppable will to rise. You've made it this far, haven't you? Not by their hand, not by their mercy, but by your own relentless will. And now the world is forced to watch. Eyes that once rolled in disdain now stare wide with awe and fear. They see your rise, but they'll never understand the depths of your climb, the darkness you endured, the battles you fought in silence, the scars that became your armor. That's the part they'll never tell, the part they'll never celebrate, because it terrifies them. What they feared most wasn't just your success, it was your resilience. You didn't break when they cast you aside. You didn't falter when they mocked your dreams. Every obstacle they placed in your path became a stepping stone. Every rejection a reason to push harder. You turned their underestimation into your greatest weapon. And now you stand unshaken, while they cower in the shadow of the very empire they claimed you'd never build. Let me tell you something, they'll never admit your existence disrupts their carefully crafted illusion. You are the crack in their facade, the proof that their rules are lies. They wanted to believe their privilege, their connections, their wealth made them untouchable. But here you are, unrelenting and undeniable. You didn't play by their rules, you rewrote them. You didn't conform to their expectations, you shattered them. But remember this, it's not just about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were always enough, that their opinions were never your foundation, that their doubt was nothing more than noise. They wanted to see you as less, but you've shown them that less can become limitless. And now the power dynamic has shifted. They're scrambling, trying to piece together their shattered egos, hoping you'll offer a hand. But this isn't about vengeance, it's about truth. The truth that your worth was never tied to their approval. The truth that every smile they give you now drips with fear, not admiration. They see you for what you are, not a player in their game, but the force that's rewritten the rules. So what now? You don't owe them anything, not your kindness, not your forgiveness, not even your acknowledgement. Let their desperation speak volumes about their character. Let their envy fuel your momentum. Let their shallow values serve as a reminder of why you climbed higher. But never let them pull you into their hollow world. You are not like them. You've risen above the pettiness, the greed, the shallow metrics of worth they cling to. While they chase temporary power, you've claimed something eternal: freedom. The freedom to live on your terms, to defy their expectations, to be unstoppable. They will whisper your name, not in admiration, but in dread. You've become their reminder that the system they worship is not invincible. You've shown them that their dominance is fragile, their power fleeting, their influence meaningless when faced with someone who refuses to bow. And so, let them watch. Let them witness what it means to rise from the ashes they thought would bury you. Let them feel the weight of your presence, the force of your success, the undeniable truth of your existence. You don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just rise, you soar. And most of all, you don't just win, you redefine what winning looks like. This is your story now. Write it in bold strokes. Leave no room for doubt. Let your name echo not just in their minds, but in the world itself, a symbol of defiance, of resilience, of unstoppable power. And never forget, the fire they tried to extinguish has become the blaze that will consume their lies. Let them tremble. Let them falter. Because you were always destined to rise. And now, as they sit in the ruins of their assumptions, let them reflect on the truth they were too blind to see. You were never the one who needed their validation, it was they who needed your indifference. Because your silence, your refusal to seek their approval, is the loudest declaration of power they will ever hear. Every step you take forward is a reminder to them of what they can never undo. They will try to rewrite history. They'll spin stories of how they supported you, how they believed in you from the beginning. But you know better, don't you? You remember the deafening silence when you cried out for help. You remember the sneers, the laughter, the dismissals. You remember the loneliness, the despair, the moments when it was just you against the world. They will never admit it, but their greatest fear isn't that you succeeded, it's that you did it without them. Now, every move you make is a dagger to their fragile pride. You don't need to raise your voice or seek revenge. No, your existence is vengeance enough. Because the more you rise, the more they crumble under the weight of their own irrelevance. They built their lives on shallow values, but you've built yours on something unshakable: resilience, determination, and a refusal to be anything less than extraordinary. They'll try to cling to you now, hoping to bask in your light, to share in your glory. But remember this: they didn't believe in your potential, they feared it. They didn't cheer for your success, they prayed for your failure. And now, as they scramble to attach themselves to your journey, you must decide: do you let them in, or do you leave them behind? Whatever you choose, let it be on your terms. You've earned that right. You've earned the power to decide who gets a seat at your table. And those who doubted you, mocked you, and ignored you, they've already shown you their worth. Don't waste your energy on trying to change them. Instead, focus on what lies ahead: a future where you define the rules, you set the pace, and you build a legacy that will outlast their fleeting judgments. So stand tall. Let them feel the gravity of your presence. Let them watch in silence as you continue to rise. Let them choke on their own hypocrisy, drowning in the shadows of your triumph. Because you are no longer just a survivor, you are a conqueror. And every step you take forward is a reminder that they couldn't stop you then, and they can't touch you now. This is your time, not theirs. Let your success be the storm that drowns their doubt, the fire that burns their lies, the force that leaves them speechless. And when they look at you now, let them see what they tried so hard to deny: a force of nature, a living testament to the power of resilience, and a reminder that no one can define your worth but you. Now go. Write your story in the skies they'll never reach. Your rise isn't over, it's just beginning. Let them watch. Let them envy. Let them learn that the strongest storms are born in silence, and you are the storm they never saw coming.